Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. The Ubisoft open world Star Wars game was announced officially over a week ago, so today I've decided to make a video talking about what era I'd like to see the game focus on. In the future I'll be covering all the news and details about this game, and I'll be making a lot more discussion videos on it like this one, so if you're interested in that then be sure to subscribe to the channel with the notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the videos. So at the moment we literally know nothing about this open world game. We don't know if it's going to be single player, multiplayer, or both. We don't know what era the game is set in, and we don't even know what the main role of the game is. Are you a bounty hunter, a Jedi, or even a special forces trooper? We just don't know anything yet, which means that there's plenty to speculate. First of all, I'm really hoping that it focuses on bounty hunters. An open world bounty hunter game has been a dream of mine for a good few years now. Something similar maybe to GTA 5 with the single player and the online is something I'd love to see. I know many others will probably be like, oh, and Red Dead 2, but I've never played that game before, so I can't really say that I want another game to be like that when I've never played it. But anyway, what era do I want the game to be set in? Well, ultimately it really depends on what you can actually do in the game and who you play as. If you play as a Jedi, then I think a game set in the prequel era or perhaps even the High Republic era game would be amazing. In both eras, the Jedi are at the peaks of their power, more so with the High Republic, but imagine this. In a Jedi open world game set in the High Republic, obviously right now it's a very new era, but you get to face off against the Nile and other adversaries in these completely new stories that by the time of release will have been more fleshed out, but nowhere near to the extent of the prequels. In a game set during the prequels, or more specifically the Clone Wars, then you'd get to fight alongside clone troopers against the separatist forces across the galaxy. You could see all your favourite characters from the Clone Wars TV show and perhaps even explore the Jedi Temple from head to toe. A Jedi game could obviously be set in the original trilogy or even the sequel trilogy as well, but Fallen Order has and will continue to do that already for the Galactic Civil War. And as for the sequels, then I don't really think there's a whole lot of room unless Rey trains a new batch of Jedi without too much trouble post episode 9. Either way, if we do get a Jedi game, then I think it would certainly be best to focus on the prequels or the High Republic. With all that said, there's every chance that it could be something completely different. It could be a bounty hunter game for all we know, but we literally don't know anything yet, so I'm obviously just speculating. But if it was to be a bounty hunter game, then I'd prefer it to be set in the Galactic Civil War. Now I know that every game we've had from EA has been set in this era so far, but for a bounty hunter open world, I just think it's perfect. Sure, being a bounty hunter during the height of the Clone War would be cool. It would be interesting to work with the separatist leaders or even just the crime syndicates in the Outer Rim whilst war is being waged. And don't get me wrong, if we did get a game like that I would love it. However, if it was during the Galactic Civil War, I'd love it even more. I think it would just be so much fun to work with the Empire to hunt down rebel leaders or treacherous senators, or to work for crime syndicates against the Empire to pull off jobs like the ones we saw in Solo, a Star Wars story. The Star Wars underworld during a time when the Empire is at the height of their power, enforcing their laws on people of the core systems and beyond has always fascinated me, and it's part of what made me enjoy Solo so much. Having a game where you'd sneak past the Empire's back to do some business I think would be really cool. And imagine you're in a cutscene and the Empire storm the building, so you have to fight your way out of this building and the area to avoid Imperial capture. Perhaps to make it even more thrilling, this could even be on Coruscant, the heart of Imperial territory. I suppose the same could be said for the Clone Wars, and instead of stormtroopers it's the Coruscant Guard clones, but I just really like the idea of the Galactic Civil War. For me, the potential job opportunities and overall setting of everything just feels like it would work so much better in the Imperial Era if it was to be a bounty hunter game. A lot of planets under Imperial control might feel really gloomy and run down, which I think is an awesome setting to have. If you cast your minds back to Lothal from Star Wars Rebels, the main city was under Imperial occupation for quite some time. Citizens were pretty scared and all seemed rather bleak. However, by the end of the show, the Empire was no more and the city was booming and had tall towers and seemed like a really wonderful place. Now, if I was to play a game as a bounty hunter, I'd very much rather visit this bleak, rundown city instead of some peaceful, booming city. Sure, it may look amazing to see in a game, but I feel like there just wouldn't be that same thrill factor to it. With regards to job opportunities, I feel like during the Clone Wars, you'd be getting a lot of jobs from the Separatists, or at least criminals who may well be working with them in some way. Obviously that won't necessarily be the case as it could focus on something entirely different, but I feel like that's one of the biggest things you'd see. That said, the underworld and the crime syndicates aren't really explored too deeply in Clone Wars, so perhaps this would be a good opportunity for that. With that being said, as I mentioned earlier, you could be hired by the Empire to take out traitors, hunt down important rebel figureheads, or work for a crime syndicate taking out members of another organisation, doing business behind the Empire's back, and all that stuff. That to me just feels a lot more exciting than doing something based in the Clone Wars. That of course is all very specific, and there are endless possibilities for all jobs and all eras in Star Wars, but if it was to be a bounty hunter game, then I think I would definitely prefer it to be in the Galactic Civil War. Once again, this game could focus on something entirely different. It could be in a new era, or it could focus on completely different organisations and have nothing to do with the Clone Wars or the Empire in any way, and the game may not even be about bounty hunters for all we know. Like I said towards the start of the video, we know absolutely nothing about this game just yet, and it's all well and good talking about one specific character role, but what if the game has multiple roles that you can play as? What if you can have two characters where one's a Jedi and one's a bounty hunter? At that point then it probably would be best for the prequels, but we just really don't know anything about this game, which makes speculating a huge challenge. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let me know in the comments below what type of open world game you'd like to see, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. That is it from me today. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.